Hello, it's been a little while since I've made a video, but I just received my General Lee cardboard car in the mail. Card stock, actually, but paper car, pretty much. Anyway, you definitely want to read the instructions before you start, just to kind of get an idea of what you're working with. I'm not going to read it to you, but if you want to stop and try to read that, you're more than welcome. So it comes with an instruction sheet, which I have read, and this one came with a little bit of a bonus. As you can tell, I didn't really cut them out great, but since I have a pair of hobby scissors. They're actually curved Lexan remote control car body scissors, actually. So I was lucky I had these because I really believe that it made it a lot easier to cut the edges around, which is what I will be using for this later on as well. So that's my advice. Make sure you get yourself a pair of scissors, and definitely possibly some curved scissors. Make sure you get, a type of hobby scissor, and you're not just working with your regular scissors that you just went into Dollar Tree and bought, because no doubt these will mess that up, unless you're really, really careful. But we all know there's no way to be very careful with these type of scissors. So get a set of hobby scissors. And the second thing, you'll want to use some glue. You have to make sure that on the package it says that the glue is okay for paper. So, and that's not even good enough. So what you want to do, you'll see I cut two little slits out of right here. I made sure that I wasn't going to be using those, of course. Cut two little slits out. Set that off to the side. Set that to the side. And that to the side. Anything on the back? No. Alright. So, just going to take the cap off here. Let's sit down. Okay. So now, what you want to do, I'm going to put couple little dots right here. Now, the first reason you want to do that for is just kind of check it and see how the glue reacts on this paper. Make sure it doesn't eat through. Make sure it doesn't eat through the paper. And then kind of take your second piece of paper and just see how they kind of react when you put them together. It was kind of slippery, honestly, so that's definitely something to take note on. You can use regular Elmer's glue, but it takes a while to dry, so this stuff will probably be better for that. You just kind of observe it, see how it reacts. It was slippery, definitely something to note, and also just see how long it takes to bond, and note that basically this kind of glue, it really, when you apply it together, it'll heat up, just due to the chemical reaction in it, but then whenever it dries, it'll be cooler again. So you definitely want to test the glue on the paper, that way you don't mess up your model that you just paid for. That's something that I've learned with just basically everything that I've ever bought. It's, if you're going to be using something that could damage it, make sure to test it first in small areas. So then you'll have to cut this out with a type of scissor that's going to be able to get around the wheels, get around all the edges and everything. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Also, as a little bit of a side note, it may be helpful to cut the outline a little bit before you start trying to get into the detail stuff. That way it takes less time, because these are obviously really small scissors, So with these scissors, you'll be able to cut the outline faster. Just try not to get too close to it. That way you don't mess up anything important, like the exhausts or the flaps, any of the glue flaps. Just something I wanted to add. While that was time consuming, it wasn't too difficult, except for in here. Hope that doesn't affect the car at all, because I just cut a little crease and left them the same way you do in the back. So hopefully that's fine, but we'll see. And being honest, this really does, it reminds me of a car that you might get at Steak and Shake, which I actually used to have a collection. So could somebody get me some information possibly on that? Whether or not they gave General Lee cardboard or paper cars at Steak and Shake at the time that the Dukes of Hazzard was the thing. Because, you know, it really does remind me of that. And then somebody just, like, took it home and printed it out, or kept it or whatever, and printed it out recently. I don't know. That'd be cool to find out, and it would make sense for that to be there, because that does seem like something, you know, that they'd put with it, just like you build the car, you stick this on top or on the side or something, if that makes sense. So, I'll have to get to folding this, and eventually gluing, but once I'm done folding, I'll have to clean up this table. Alrighty. So we've got that step done, just folding all the glue tabs. Now we got to fold the rest of the car and then glue it. At this point, the car's folded and it's ready to be glued. Yeah, we all know when I said clean up, I meant just scrape all the paper scraps onto the floor and clean them up when I'm done, right? So far I've got half the car glued and it's looking good. Whenever I get the other side glued, I'll go back under here and do another little layer of glue. This really is just a little base layer, just to get it all together. Okay, so after gluing, this is kind of what it looks like. It's going to vary depending on, obviously, who built it, how you did your folds, how you did your gluing. This side I had a little bit of problems. So there's obviously a little bit of problem there. It doesn't quite look right there, but it looks pretty good still. And there, the back, I don't really like the way it looks here. There's really only so much you can do with paper. If you were somehow able to make that right there look a little bit more like a real Charger, that'd be better. But the way it is now, it kind of looks like a Charger 500. But other than that, if we can just look past that for a little bit, it's a nice car. It really is. So the front of it looks pretty good, and I love the way the sides look. The sides look amazing, especially look at this side. This side looks amazing. And we look underneath, and it says 1969 General Lee Dodge Charger. So we're going to leave that sit about 24 hours before we put it with the rest of the stuff, just so none of the glue gets on anything. So leave down in the comments how you like this, and I definitely like it a lot. By the way, that's there because I had to open the window a little bit. But it's not the most detailed thing ever, but it's paper. What do you expect? So it's not gonna be the most detailed thing ever. And definitely watch your fingers, because there's some parts that may become a little bit sticky. So you definitely want to wash your hands when you're done with this, and then put it somewhere safe that it won't get broken, but also somewhere that you don't have to touch it much either. And that's all for now. Bye.